Hello everyone, and welcome. Today we'll be talking about Ragna's health draining mechanic. Many people try out Ragna and get scared or confused when they see that his skill is draining more health than it gives back. You can gain healing from it, but it comes at the risk that you are required to play at low health to do so. His healing and draining is not a free healing system, but rather a risk and reward one. This will be explained more later on, but first let's take a basic look at what the drain mechanic does. The basic concept is that when Ragna uses a skill, he consumes HP as well as MP. Then, if the skill hits an enemy, he regains HP back. If your skill misses the enemy, you do not get anything back. The HP you drain is based off of the amount of enemies you hit, but the amount has very heavily diminishing returns for each one. For example, if you hit 4 enemies with Ragna, you may get healed for 474 on the first enemy hit, dropping all the way down to 118 on the second enemy, 52 on the third enemy, and 30 on the fourth enemy. So you do gain a benefit from hitting big groups of enemies, but it is a limited benefit. It's not something that's going to be highly overpowered one way or the other. Next, let's talk about how the health cost and gains work. This is where people tend to get confused and misunderstand the system upon playing Ragna for the first time. It's something that's very easy to miss unless you go in and actually read his skill description closely. The amount of health drained is based off of your current HP. This means that as you get lower in HP, your skill will also cost less HP. If you're using your skill at max HP, then you're going to be taking significantly more HP away than if you wait until you get to half health, or even lower than that. The amount of health healed is based off of your maximum HP. The more total HP you have, the higher you will heal. So this makes things like mind level upgrades, mind crystals that give max HP, and HP upgrades that you can get throughout the run very effective on Ragna. It's not something you notice in the short term when you're just buying like 1 HP upgrade at a time, but it does scale very well when you're stacking a high amount of HP. Different skills also have sort of different HP ratios. Some heal a lot more efficiently than others, so that is also something to keep in mind. So what do these things mean for gameplay? If you're scared of draining your HP, it means you should avoid using your skills while you're still at high HP, and save them as kind of an emergency mechanic for when you get low. Once you get more comfortable with the fact that you're going to be playing at low HP a lot on Ragna, if you're playing aggressively with skills, you can start playing very aggressively with skills and just get yourself to that threshold anyways. There will always be some kind of like golden spot on your health bar, where once you're below a certain amount of HP, your skills will start healing the same amount of HP or healing more. That will be changed based on some of the passives you have, what skill you're using, and how much maximum HP you have total. So that's something that changes around from run to run, but there will always kind of be somewhere on your health bar that once you get low enough, your skills will start healing more than they take. Next up, let's quickly go over a couple of additional modifiers that Universal Enhancement can give you for your drain mechanic. Blood Cane allows you to drain and heal HP off of your normal attacks instead of only your skills. Once you get the hidden effect, you can also remove the HP cost from certain moves while keeping the healing. You get the hidden effect by having all 3 universal enhancements. Soul Devour may seem like a risk, but if you remember how the draining mechanic works, you are already doing this anyways. The higher your HP is when you use a skill, you are already taking more HP away than if you're at low HP. So this means that Soul Devour is almost all upside, and the downside is very minimal, in my opinion. There is a downside that if you do drain your HP at a bad time, you're more likely to die, but the increased healing you get from this is much better than the increased damage you take. Since, like I said, his mechanics already kind of work around this idea anyways. While we're here, I'd also like to talk about Ragna's passive. It may seem straightforward, but the in-game description doesn't tell you how it actually works. This is something I would have never noticed if I wasn't doing research into Ragna's mechanics and looking at them very closely. So Ragna gains a skill damage buff anytime his health is drained, but what they don't tell you is that this is actually a stacking buff. The damage bonus will always increase the same amount regardless of how much HP the move drains, so it doesn't matter if you use your skill, or if you drain it with Blood Cane, or if you take damage. It's just anytime you take damage, you get another stack of the passive. And the damage bonus you get is just based on how many stacks you have. Now there is a diminishing return on damage increases per stack, meaning that as you get more and more stacks, it will start increasing your damage less and less per stack. You still want to be keeping your stacks refreshed, though, even when you're at really high stack counts, because all of the stacks will refresh simultaneously. So basically what you can think of this as, the longer you stay in combat and constantly use your skills, you will get more and more ramping damage, and you will keep that damage bonus as long as you use another skill within around, so it's somewhere around 10 seconds for the stacks to fall off, from what I could tell. So as an example, let's say I get 100 damage bonus to one of my attacks from the first stack I gain. If I do that same attack again, while gaining a second stack, I might get another 50 damage, and then another 25 for the next stack, and then another 10, and then another 5. So you're gaining less and less damage per stack, but you're keeping all of your overall damage increases and adding those together. So in this example, even though I only gained an extra 5 the last stack I gained, I'm still getting 190 total damage bonus from all of those stacks added together. And all of those stacks are refreshing simultaneously as long as I hit a skill within the 10-second window for them to expire. Similarly, when they expire, all of these stacks are gone at the same time, so you're just back down to your base skill damage. That will be all I have to say for this one. I hope I was able to help clear up some of the misconceptions with Ragna's health drain system. I don't blame anyone for not understanding how it works, because it's a little obtuse. It's not the most straightforward thing, especially when it comes to his skill damage passive. His skill damage passive was something I actually just learned today as I was doing research for this video, and I probably wouldn't have learned about it if I wasn't looking at his damage numbers very closely. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.